She would love to come on and co-cast. However, with the nostril being a bit giant right now, it's just not a good time for her. So that's that's the genuine response that just came. I mean, I'm pretty sure she will. If she's in the chat, I'm pretty sure she's gonna. Just one of them, not even both. Tell her to cast off camera. We could just. What about just getting Sexy Wardy on? We've got Sexy Wardy somewhere. Do we have Sexy Wardy somewhere? I don't know if we've got Sexy Wardy somewhere, actually. Let me try and... Is this a Sexy Wardy?
Hello?
Or not? Maybe this way a little bit. Hello? Hey, guys. A little bit of reverb. Ooh. Hey. How you guys doing? I got a treat for you today. In the bottom left-hand side of Ice and Chrome. The Clam. That's not really sexy. It's like a little bit derpy, isn't it? Huh.
I think I like... No. Oh, here we go. Hey, guys. In top right, the orange zerg to melt your hearts. Give it up for Elazer.
No, that's not. That's just creepy as well. It's just not working. I had a good one the other day. I just can't find it anymore. That's demonic. Well, I mean, you know, different people have different images of sexy, right? Like, some people, you know, some people are sexy as, you know, cute and lingerie and, you know, being all nice. Other people is like, you know, demonic. I don't know. Slow down. I've got it. The issue is I'm on the wrong setting, and I don't want to lose my other settings, and it's just like, it's just a whole mess, basically. I have a good one somewhere. I just can't quite find it. It's like, you just got to play with the buttons a bit. Like,
hello? Hello? Oh, that's a little bit better. No.
It's still got this weird pitch to it. I just can't find it, guys. I'm sorry, okay? I tried my best. I tried to give you what you all wanted, and you guys just throw it back in my face, just like, you never give us what you want, what we want, Wardy. It's such a failure. Okay, you guys don't do that, but like, you know. I just feel like you guys want alternate Wardy back and not me. And it's just like, I'm just trying to improve myself and, you know. And then you guys are like, it's not you, Wardy, it's us. And I'm like, oh, well, is it though? Oh my god. Alrighty, guys, we are just rocking around in game number 1 of this best of 3 of the Clem and Elazer. So this is basically, Clem's already top of the group. For Clem, this is just a little bit of extra money on the line. Because you do win money per series 1. For Elazer, this is kind of important. You need to win this series pretty much to go to go second place. And even then, you have to win it 2-0, not 2-1, I think. So I believe that's the way this goes. But obviously, either way, there's still money on the line for winning the series, even if it doesn't change your placing in the group if all is said and done. As we do see, Reaper around in the bottom right side. Link speed coming on up. As we get ourselves rolling here in the initial few stages, Reaper's gonna drop a grenade. Gonna drop a grenade for ya. That's not the song, is it? And Clem, just again, gonna be rocking around the hatchery to see if you can do much. Link speed coming up as from Elazer. Liberator on the way out, and a Tech Lab gonna build up on this barracks as well. So Tech Lab building, a couple Hellions about to pop also. As we're going to be seeing the armory in the main base of Clem also. Scan the armory up and running, a couple Marines, couple Hellions onto the natural. And we do see the Overlord just continue to run around, and again, a little bit of damage being done. Hey, what's up, Bergie91? 3-month resub. Says, woke up at 5 AM, got off work 11 hours later, and Wardy's still grinding. You've won my heart, Wardy. Well, you've won my heart, dude, because you've been grinding as well. You've just been at work for however many hours. You're just doing the same as me. We all grinding, buddy. Thank you so much for the subscription, the resub. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good day at work. Hope you don't have to wake up at 5 AM tomorrow. That's never fun. Flings nibbling their way through the rocks as a couple of Hellions will come in, and Zerglin's already getting roasted. Stimpack coming through on the main base, and just going to see a couple extra Hellions popping, so... Here's a Hellbat attack. Armory was set up, as mentioned, so these Hellbats going to wander forward. It's kind of a weird one, because it's not like rallied up with anything. I guess just the Liberator going to the main. The Queens are going to be in the wrong place. There's going to be no Queens in the main base. There is a Spore Crawler you can relocate, but he's not doing that just yet. The first Queen goes down over here. I mean, this feels like not so great of a Hellbat attack, but because the Laser's just only on for like 6 Queens total, it's not that many, and this Liberator is going to force a couple different mineral lines to pull away. He's getting some kills in the natural now, and a Laser's taking a lot of damage. It's already 8 workers down, and Clem going into a big, fast bio follow-up for behind this. damage like this oftentimes leads into that momentum, which then just wins you the series, right? So this could already be Elazer's hope of finishing second place in this group. Coming to a close, realistically. You gotta be careful. As what was lost here overall? 2 Koreans, 16 links, the 8 drones is the big part. It is a decent trade for Clem. It's worth trading the Hellbats out for, and now he's got a third CC, which he can start to saturate and move out pretty quickly. The only thing he might trail on a bit here is moving the third CC out, because he doesn't have a lot of units because he gave up the Hellions. So moving the third base out could be a little dangerous, because if you go up against like a Ling Flood or a rush of Lings across the map, then you could just lose your units, and you don't want to move there too quickly, basically, right? You don't want to go there too soon. So you do just want to be a little bit careful about that. As a Roach Roaring dropping down in the back of the natural. This Liberator of Clem continues up. I mean, this Liberator is just having a great time. The fact it's taking barely any damage means it's just so viable to keep coming back into play. It's going to get himself, well, he's going to force a transfusion here on this Queen. Make that 2, make that, he doesn't have a third one. Well, he gets the Queen, a few more drones. I think for the Liberator, it's absolutely worthwhile, right? I mean, you get the Queen on top of the, like, 7 drone kills. Plus the fact that, again, you just force all the transfusions. So now the Queens are already less tanky going into future fights. As we see right now, Zerglings are coming across the map. So, sorry, Marines are coming across the map. Zerglings are heading back home. No Bane, there is a Bane nest here as well. God damn it, I'm just seeing all the wrong things. I saw the Rotron, I assume no Bane nest, but there is a Bane nest. But do you morph in Banes here, or do you just go, because you're not going to have Bane speed? You know, 4 or 5 Banes against an army like this isn't necessarily always that great, because you may just be better off building more Roaches, right? Laser trying to go into that with the missile upgrades. The problem is, I mean, with this sort of setup already, Clem's just trading well, and now the Roaches are going to be popping out all over the place, and again, the Queens are limited on transfusions, which affects them in this fight here, so one of them already dropping down. Clem turns around to fight. He will lose a medevac, so he may as well stick around until he loses a couple extra Marines, because he can't lift up all of them just yet. And he gets that Queen, then lifts, and he just goes straight to the main. He keeps the aggression up, and Clem's not slowing it down just yet. As we do see our Marines unloading here. Roaches coming out, Queen popping, and that will push this away. There's a few more Marines attack setting up on the area between the natural and the third base factory, building up into a tech lab, and it's going to be seeing 2 refineries on the third base as well. Wood mine in front of the third CC. And again, 1-1 upgrades about to finish up from Clem. 1-1 missiles from Elazer, just that little bit further behind. What's going to be so deadly here is if Clem pushes with the siege tanks, because obviously it's a Roach-based army, and Roaches are going to get absolutely gobbled up by siege tank shots. So you got to be a little careful here as Elazer as to how you fight this and where you fight this. In fact, Elazer might just be going for it himself. 1-1 upgrades finishing. Roach speed's already in play. He's bringing some Roaches across the map. There's the Ravager morph, so I guess there's the answer to our question. No 4th base was already the signs of this Roach Ravager attack coming across the map. So a bunker stand-up from Clem with upgrades already in play, and realistically, bunker tanks, I just don't see the break here happening at all for Elazer. It's going to be a really, really tough break if he makes it happen at all. As we do see, first bunkers going to not even be used just yet. Corrosive Bowels will land, and he's actually got 2 more siege tanks that just showed up. This is such a nice reinforcing siege tank. Literally just pops out of the factory, joins the fight instantly. The other one came in from the main base, and the Marines from across the map coming for the flank. And Elazer's Roaches and Ravages are dying, and without a 4th base setup or anything like that, Elazer will admit defeat because, well, Clem is just in so good of a position. Clem goes up 1-0 in the best of 3 game. As we do have our matchup starting here. In the top right-hand side, our blue Terran up 1-0. This is Clem. Right, little stream is not correct. You're not wrong, guys. And in the bottom left-hand side, this is our orange Zerg Elazer. Why is it forced EU versus Korea finals? Because, you want me to give you the lecture on this? I'll give you the lecture on this. Because I thought this event was going to overlap with GSL versus GSL Super Tournament, so I didn't think I could run a Korean section. So I designed the entire format around having to use 14 players because I didn't want to try and get 20 European players, because last time I tried to get 20 European players, it was really difficult, and I really struggled to get enough players. So I came up with a whole new format that allowed us to play the same amount of matches while having less players, and it worked out well. And then GSL Super Tournament got postponed, so I could have a Korean section, but the format was already committed. So that meant we had EU and Korea groups, and basically Europe versus Korea, like, it's just not pretty. I had a schedule for certain days and certain times, and it only worked out if we did EU one side of the bracket and Korea on the other side of the bracket for the playoffs. It's just as simple as that. Like, we just couldn't do EU and Korea mixed because I didn't have the time set up for both of them to work. So, that is why it is EU versus Korea in the finals set up, because I literally just had a bunch of different choices I had to make and some things I had to fix, and yeah. I can see top bomb, etc. So I have equal many Koreans and foreigners on both sides. That's literally what I just said. I can't run a Korean event tomorrow. I have plans. So if I run a Korean, if I want to do Korean and Europeans tomorrow, I have to make the Koreans play at 3 a.m. And I'm telling you right now, the Koreans are not going to play at 3 a.m. and maybe end at 7 a.m. So it's as simple as that. I just didn't have the setup because I planned the entire thing in my own life around having European groups. So, yeah. That is why, quite literally. And also, I mean, there's a lot of EU versus Korea NA server issues lately, so we're trying to avoid it as much as possible. But I would have done it for the playoffs if we just had like a regular round of 8 playoff. But like I said, it just didn't plan out like that at all. Sorry. Literally just sorry. Was that a missed grenade on this group, Jimmy? I think it is, as we do see the Reaper going down. Link speed getting started here from Elazer. And as we do see the drone coming down the low ground, Queen on the way up on the 3rd base as well. As we do get this ready to rumble. So Liberator coming up, Link speed coming through. And a Tech Lab dropping down on the Baux as well. So a little bit of build up here in the early stages. And just seeing what will happen here for game 2 of this best of 3. 3. Quite a lot of lings being made, but it's just because the Hellions are coming across the map. Ling speed's about to kick in, so you just want to make sure you've got the lings to stop the Hellions running by. Clam just Hellion Liberator opening straight to Stim, so straight to Bio this time. Not going to add the armory, not going to do the Hellbats. He's actually going to dive by, but it's just not a good decision because there's so many lings on the map. It's exactly what Elazer built these Zerglings to deal with. It's perfectly done. Completely shuts down the first 4 Hellions, and that's brilliant. I mean, just no damage done at all. As we do see the Overlord getting picked off, and the Stim Pack coming through from Clem. A 3rd CC coming in as part of the wall off at the front there as well. As we still see this Liberator coming around to the right side. Going to be coming through to set up on towards this natural. Queen's able to push the Liberator away through the bottom. Gets a shot off on towards this Overlord as well, so able to deal a little bit more damage there. Still some decent group spread pushing out and around on the map. Engineering bays on the way up from Clam. Stim Pack coming through. Evo Chambers about to complete. All of that looking pretty good here so far, as we do see. Well, again, just Clam dealing some okay, you know, not really doing any damage or anything. Not really looking good at all, actually. Elazer playing a pretty good game so far. Taking the upgrades at the same time. His glare is going to be later, so Bane speed's a bit delayed, but with the equal upgrades, you can play Ling Bane a little bit better anyways. You can play a bit more Ling heavy. So that works out. As we do see, this CC is about to finish up. So the command center will complete, and with this CC completing, it can morph into an orbital, and this Liberator coming around the bottom left is already going to pop the first drone there. So, first drone goes down. Again, the Liberator is going to come back around up the left-hand side, and again, 1-1 upgrades, combat shields coming through. Baneling that's dropping down on Elazer's natural. Couple extra Queens coming through into the center. This Liberator coming around the top. Burrow sets up from Elazer on the natural expansion. 4th base from Elazer about to finish as well. And you see the Liberator Clam coming all the way back up the top right. Just going to get repaired and get ready to go again. He's going to start moving onto the map here. I mean, this time Elazer does play melee upgrades, so he's just going to go Ling Bane and Mutalisks. Burrow's coming through too, so something that we saw him trying to use against Thermal. Never got a good Burrow-Baneling connection in that game. Especially, he really needed it as well, because he dropped behind pretty early, and it's kind of a shame, because he had them all over the map, and Thermal just dodged every single one. Is this for Clam? Does he save the tank? He does. So that's not a bad pushback, but it's also not much gain from Clam. A couple of creep tumors the Queens will already replace. At the same time, it didn't cost him anything, though. Already scanned, it's, you know, scan for creep, and then creep gets replaced. It's all, you know, it's energy for energy. As you do see, just a couple of SCVs brought in to repair up the medevacs. Always like to see that. Repairing the medevacs, keeping them healthy. You never know when that little bit of extra HP makes the difference between evacuating a bunch of Marines or not. Spire about to complete here from Elazer, as we do see the Lingbane with the Queens out on the forward base. One circling around the left-hand side patrolling, one in the center. Yeah, Spire's about to finish up so Elazer can move into the middlest now. He's about to have Bane speed as well, so he's really set up for the next few minutes of the game. Now you're on this kind of Lingbane meter comp. You can start setting up some run-bys, start getting some bits and pieces done here and there. This is you kind of having reached your goal. And now your next goal is to, try and play this out a little while and slowly build up into the infestation pit, the hive, and slowly switch it up in towards the Ultralisks. As you do see Zerglings here from Elazer out over the right-hand side. A couple Banes starting to move on forwards. Elazer coming out through into the center. Oh, a couple burrowed Banelings actually get set up already. Clam. Oh, no. Clam. Oh, he's gonna get baited. He's gonna get baited. The Baneling connection is good. The Ling stream in. The Marines are being killed. Oh, now the Lings are gonna kill off all the siege tanks as well. While they're gonna try and unsiege as the Lings dart across. There's nowhere for the tanks to set up. There's not enough Marines anymore. And these Lings and Banes are just gonna push on through. Tanks are gonna die. Banes can go in towards the SCVs and Marines. And this is gonna be just a bit too much. GG from Clem. Elazer takes game 2. And, well, the Baneling bombs worked that time round. Elazer. In the top left-hand side, our Blue Terran player. It is tied up here 1-1 in the top left. It is our Blue Terran, Clam. And in the bottom right, our Orange Zerg. It is Elazer. Game 3. Oh, no, the girlfriend heard. Oh, shit. Oh, GG. Is that's like a GG moment in itself. That's just like
GG.
What?
GG. Wardy has been eliminated.
Yep, I'm dead. I'm done. See you guys later. It was a great last stream, guys. don't end. If I don't end, she can't kill me. Yeah, good point. Good point, guys. Just keep streaming. Just keep streaming. Final map of the day, guys. This is it. This is what comes down to. One final game. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have enjoyed, do hit that follow button. Thanks for all the love. We had loads of followers today. If you've really enjoyed, consider subscribing, donating, cheering. It all helps us out. Especially if you've got those Twitch Primes. They're free to use. If you appreciate 12 hours of StarCraft content, it literally takes a click of a button and you can support a Twitch Prime. And don't forget, we are putting $1 of every single sub. Every single time you resub, $1 is going towards our WardiTV Spring Championship in March and April. Ooh, how exciting is that? I was just thinking, by the way, guys, if we did like a WardiTV Championship series, now WCS doesn't exist. Can I become WCS? The WardiTV Championship series? WCS? Like, I think it's fine. I don't think Blizzard would mind, right? I don't think they'd care. I reckon they're fine with it. Not trying to clickbait loads of views. WCS is here. Yeah, I'm sure. No, everyone will understand, right? But yeah, we got a big tournament coming up in March/April, and again, every single sub's gonna have $1 put towards that prize pool. We're hoping for a $5,000 prize pool. We're pretty close to realistically being able to do that right now. So again, every single sub helps us along the way. As we do have the Reaper coming around, picks off one drone already, and this game number 3 is underway on hard rain. I mean, I'm kind of hoping to see a long one though. Like, memes aside about long streams and all of that good stuff and getting murdered by girlfriends, I genuinely want to see a game here where we see hard rain go macro in TvZ especially, because we saw in TVP not so long ago in the U-Thermal game, and it was pretty fun. It's very interesting. TvZ, like, you look around the map, you've got some run-by potential spots. You definitely go, the center of the map's kind of intriguing. Where do you push as a Terran player? It feels kind of tough as well. I want to see how Clem kind of tackles those questions and those issues. As we just set up here at the moment. Let's see how Reaper again pushed away. A couple of Queens coming through. Stimpack setting up. Viking on the way. Just going to be seen again. Build up into bio here from Clam in the early stages. I'm intrigued to see also what Elazer plays, because he played those roaches in the first game, and it's something we don't see too much of nowadays, but it's also a style that Elazer's always kind of been familiar with, and it always is, I feel, very interesting when you see players who take a style they're comfortable with outside of the meta it's typically seen in and try and make it work. Obviously, that 1-1 roach attack didn't work in game 1. Interested to see what we see in game 3. I mean, right now, just a safety Baneling Nest. You know, this is at a time, so if it is a Hellbat attack, there is preparation, although the scouting here from Elazer should say, you know, factory not on the reactor anymore. Ooh, we actually didn't see the factory or the structure at the front, so yeah, safety Baneling Nest is a must. As we do see the couple Hellions and the Reaper coming down towards the bottom right. A few Hellions in the center, Reaper as well, some Zerglings up the right side, +1 and weapons coming in, sit back. And again, a few extra Marines and a couple of siege tanks coming into place. We do see the lair from Elazer in the main base. And again, just a few Hellions and a Reaper out over towards the upper left. So, trying to push this along. We do see the Zergling just out the front, which is just kind of watching for other units. But it's pretty passive from Clam. The Viking even, you know, it's not even a Liberator this game. It's just the Viking, right? So even that's a little bit different from what we've seen before. The +1 attack upgrade, though, right? Look at this. 1 attack upgrade, 3 racks. It's very two-base committed, right? There's no 3rd CC. There's not, like, a lot of, like, longevity in this for Clam. And maybe he expands behind it, but it's a much later expand than what you usually see. So that's worth keeping in mind here. Clam is committing to a pretty aggressive setup initially. As you do have the rest of the Marines coming out the front, going towards the depot, Hellions. Coming back up the right-hand side. A couple extra Queens dropping down some creep, etc. And with Elazer going across the map, it's just, you know, the Hellions on the right side, so these Lings want to move the left side, because then they can dot back, they can look for run-by potential. If these Marines move out, those Lings are going to be there to try and take advantage of it. So they're just waiting, sends one Ling forward. He's like, oh, what's going on now? He's like, oh, he's moving out. This way, Elazer starts to run by. So as you do see, the Medivacs loading up the 2 tanks, and there's the 3rd CC for behind us. So it's not fully all in, but it is, again, committed. A couple of reinforcing Marines get shut down, and the Lings will maybe kind of poke at the front a bit, but there's not... I mean, you're never going to kill the Engineering Bay, right? And he's going to pull back. These Lings will be useful in the fight, because, again, it's a very committed attack from Clem, so it's nice to actually have as much as possible back to deal with this. Actually, Elazer's going to jump on this very early. Bane Speed's not here yet. He just wants to go before the tanks are sieged, but none of the Banes are going to make it towards the Marines. He keeps a few alive as Bane Speed now kicks in. Combat shields here as well. Getting rid of the siege tanks means you can fight this much more easily over an extended period, because now there's no splash damage coming in time and time again, so Elazer can take a bit more time about it. And for the moment, he's going to push this back. It's going to be seeing the Medivac through the center from Clem, so reinforced Medivac, but I would kind of say that this hasn't done too much already. Now, Clem still has a bit of an army supply lead, but look at the creep Elazer has to work with. He's got 4 bases set up that seem very safe here as well. 1-1 upgrade's about to kick in from Elazer's. Infestation Pit's coming along too. A siege tank on the edge of the creep spread, and Marines still into the center. Lings and Banes still pushing through. The Queen's coming up, and Marines able to get a couple of the Banes. The rest of the Queens pulling back into the center as well. And they're going to chase these Queens down, so unfortunately for the Queens, they get picked off. Now Clem can go up this side. I like. He's already knocking down this rock tower. I think he wants to put his tank behind it, and then I don't know if he actually wants to knock it down yet or what the plan is. He lifts up the... Well, now it's kind of some Lings everywhere, so it's not really working out. I'm not sure who killed the rock tower in the end, actually. I'm not sure if the siege tank splash killed it or what. Like, I have no idea what ended up happening. I like the idea from Clem. In the end, the execution, I mean, I can't even comment on it because, like I say, I don't know what actually happened. But the Marines in the tank coming out here as he's just going to get blocked. Again, Elazer loves this early burrow play. Now, Clem walked into burrowed Banelings on the last map, which means that realistically here, he should already be seeing this burrow and being like burrowed Banelings. You know, there should be no reality in which Clem here is like, oh yeah, Banes, it's fine. As we do see a few Marines just knocking down this rock tower. Rock tower gonna get knocked down. Rocks in the center. We do see Medivac's gonna load up, and Clem will make his way to the bottom. So it's nice. It kind of sets up a defensive idea. You know, Elazer sets up here. He's like, oh my god, the rocks are down. Need to be careful. Marine sees these Lings around the left, one on the right, and you can see like Elazer's just like, well, I'm not sure about attacking in. A little run by maybe. That's not gonna do enough. And now these Medivacs are down the bottom. Tell you what, the 5th base here is that little bit further away, right? So it's going to be a bit tougher to hold. As you see, Clem's going to try and drop in the main. He waited a little while, though, which has given Elazer time to set units up. It's actually going to work out for the moment, however. Gets the tank siege, and now he's fighting the spawning pool. Remember, this is just Ling Bane, so there's not really, like, extra units to wait for. You're just waiting for more Ling Bane to gather up. These tanks actually get a good few Banelings. I think it's worth the trade-off of the siege tanks, as now we have Liberators. One going to go on the 3rd, one to the natural expansion. And Clem just trying to keep up the pressure here as... well, there's no Spore Crawlers around, so you've got to rely on Queens, but it's not an easy position to get Queens in range of. This one is only just in reach. This one trying to come around the corner, but is actually going to get hit as well. Elazer might be distracted elsewhere, loses the first Queen. Marine's still fighting over here as Clem lifts up and gets out. And overall, at the end of this, it's 10 drones killed, right? It's a good amount of damage. It's a Queen or 2 as well. Clem sieges this maybe a little bit late, right? Damage was already done. There wasn't much more being done elsewhere, but he was also protecting these Marines. He's got to go back home and macro. I mean, also good from Elazer to only lose 10 workers when there's 2 Liberators and a drop on the map, and also not like lose a ridiculous amount of Ling Bane inefficiently, is also well done from him. You know, he did clean up enough to sort of say, well, 10 workers is nice for him, but it's not the end of the world for me. It did cost him some Liberators, etc. So, nicely done by Elazer. And now he's responded to the Libs by, at least over here, he's got a Spore set up. I thought he was building one here too, but he hasn't committed to it, so I thought maybe he'd get the Spores up just in case the Libs show up again. It's definitely something to be cautious of, right? And there's the Burrowed Banelings again. Clam has to be really careful where he's walking. Those Burrowed Banes can be deadly. You know, you walk over that in the wrong direction for just a moment, and it really is. Like, it's crazy how quickly a game can swing from taking 2 Burrowed Banes to the face of your army. Not even to the face, like right in the center, in the belly of your army. Right here, boom. You maybe just lose from the swell of units that follows that up. At the very least, you probably take a lot of damage, right? A couple Burrowed Banes up here as well. That's a dangerous thing. There's just Burrowed Banes everywhere on the map. As now, Elazer's made it to Hive. And with the Hive tech, we see an Ultra's Cavern. We see the, Adrenal Glands finishing. Chitinous Plane on the way. So Elazer's hitting that next stage of the game that he's been aiming for, and he's gotten there pretty comfortably. There's a lot of creep still on the map. Kind of feels good for him. It's a weird fight for Clem because he's trying to split backwards in the center. A couple extra Banes going down. Siege tank firing is good to hit a few Banes. I love the burrowing just mid-fight. It's hard to keep track of as Clem as well because you're kind of busy elsewhere. Meanwhile, Liberator shows back up though and gets 10 more drones. So at least he's getting some economic damage done behind all of this and keeping the Elazer's economy somewhat in check. If you look at the income, it's been ahead for Elazer, but it's never stayed at like a big lead, which he's trying to set up for. Which means that in the resources lost, you can see Elazer trading kind of bad. If that continues and Clem keeps trading economy like this, it's probably going to turn out all right for Clem here, who picked off one circle in there somehow. But now the Ultras on the map, and that's going to be one of the big turning points in terms of how well you trade as Clem. With Ultras on the map, you typically start trading that bit better as a Elazer. Maybe not like super efficiently still, but you've also got to look at this and say, well, Clem's only got 5 Marauders, and there's not really a lot of anti-Ultralisk army on the map right now, so the Ultras initially should trade really well. Going into this upcoming fight, we're about 3,000 resources ahead by Clem in what's lost. Keep that in mind, about 3,000. We'll see kind of what changes going in towards the next fight when the Ultras are part of it. Because, I mean, Clem's getting Liberators now, but he's also only working off 1 starport, meaning that the starport production is pretty limited. You're not getting too many libs up. Let's see, as for the moment, Elazer's not even rushing into a fight, because a lot of the fights will take place off creep, and if you're going to fight off creep, you may as well get anabolic synthesis first, get that ultra speed increased. Couple tanks set up. It's actually a kind of a tough map to fight with Ultras on, though, right? This base is only accessible through this very narrow area. You're basically defending. Like, this is a really safe 4-base setup, right? As the 5th base, you may actually want to try and fight as Elazer, and that's fine for the moment because you got 5 bases of your own. So take base 6, and I like the idea. Just sit back, melee upgrades, something that maybe could have come in a little bit sooner. And then the Spire dropping down in the back of the natural. Lings coming through, Marines load up into the medevacs. Bringing these out up to the top side, as you do have another starport from Clam, and that really is a necessity. Kind of surprised you don't see a Ghost Academy. I mean, he's building up a lot. He's getting a lot of tanks, maybe because he kind of feels just safe behind the wall-off. So he just thinks, for now, Liberators and tanks will get the job done. A few Marines on the top right-hand side, as we do see the Lings and Banes making their way out to the top as well. This Liberator of Clem comes all the way down the bottom. Spire about to complete from Elazer in the natural. Again, a little bit of a Bane bust on the deeper walls, but there's just no running in here that makes any sense. He's going to try and come down this way, and, well, the bio's a bit out of position. Let's see. I'm not convinced. I feel like the Ultras don't have the support they need. Clem will stim and target down one Ultralisk. Yeah, that wasn't the kind of efficiency I was expecting these first ultras to maybe achieve, as these Lings at least get the Marine kills up here. It's just not a good position to fight, and like I said, you can't do this on 4 bases, you need 5, and this was a good fight from Clem. 2,000 resources better off for him than he was before. And he's about to hit 3-3 upgrades as well, so it's also only going to get better for a minute or so until the 3-3 of Elazer also is able to finish. So that basically means to Elazer, it's like, hey, sit back, don't do anything, right? You actually just can't do anything right now. Which is also, again, like I said, it's not a bad thing, because as Clem takes a 5th base, you're going to get more opportunities in this game to actually try and fight and make use of this army. And he's doing the right thing. He's teching up, he's setting up, into Corruptors, improving the composition. That's only going to help him against these, Liberators that are being built against the Ultras. And then, of course, eventually you get a Greater Spy, and maybe you add some Brood Lords into this as well. Banes are actually going to connect in over here. It's just this choke point of doom. Like, you just can't attack into that as a Elazer, so he backs away once more. In these last few fights, efficiency has not been on Elazer's kind of vocabulary. Oh, a couple Burrowed Banes there, actually getting a couple shots. It was mostly Marauders, so they don't die, but they're very bruised, and it's actually going to create the fight. But man, it's like a 8,000 resources lost difference now. So the last few fights really have all been about Clem, but Elazer is also mining more than he's been mining all game long, which means that now his income advantage is good enough to somewhat offset this. And it's a large enough map to have enough bases to offset this as well. So Elazer can make it work, but he really comes down to denying these bases. You can't really let 2 of these bases come up. Take base 6 and, let Clem have base 5, but you can't let Clem go 6 base against 6 base. And that shouldn't be possible, because you should just need too much to defend 2 positions as Clem. It's a really difficult thing to do, so I'm not expecting that to really be a possibility here as we see Clem. A little bit more bio fighting, couple Banes going down, the Lings streaming through, Corruptors coming forwards as well. First couple Libs getting picked away at. As you do see the Cyclone firing on the Corruptors, Lings still streaming in, and this Planetary Fortress isn't ready yet. Is there any repairing? Is it worth repairing? I feel like it might be. There's only a couple Banes left, but now they're connected on the mineral line. There's still a few bio units. This Planetary might still survive yet. This Ultra's getting transfused back up to get a few extra kills. Now the Queens will go down, and this is an Ultra or 2 from Elazer that just will not die. But now out of transfusions, the Corruptors will get the chance to Caustic Spray down the Planetary. And Clem will lose this bottom base. He still hasn't been able to set up the top base. The Ling burrowed over there, buying Elazer a lot of time before Clem expands. And this was a bit of a better fight from Elazer. Resources lost is getting a little bit closer here while staying that kind of income lead, especially because he's stopping Clem getting to base 5. And that is 70 minutes in the game is absolutely a base 5 you need as Clem. Your 3rd base and your 4th base are starting to even lose patches. Your main and your natural will have pretty much nothing left, so you need bases for base number 5. And if he doesn't get that soon, Clem's going to be in a lot of trouble, as we do see these Corruptors going to get pushed away out over the right-hand side. Lings and a couple Banes. Oh, the Baneling Burrow gets a few of the Marines, and that instantly gives the Elazer the chance to run in, chase the Marauders down. No Marines here, so really the damage output's kind of taken away, and the Corruptors can fly in and just kill, Liberators? Medevacs? They don't care about 3 Marines. I mean, one of the 2 of them do because they're dying, but he gets a lot of the air units, so it's worthwhile. And he'll just commit for this Liberator as well. Maybe this was a bit too much of a commitment. Maybe a bit better target firing could have helped as well. As we are going to be seeing Clem now pulling back around the left side. Ling Bane in the center, and Ultra 2 setting up. More Ultras on the way out. Corruptors spawning up as well. Clem takes the command center top side, so he's finally getting to base 5. Or is he? Will Elazer deny that? It's a real possibility at the moment. Couple of Ultras still kind of running through here, and we will see the couple of Ultras getting picked off as well. Quick mention from the chat, isn't the Northern 5th just easier to take than the bottom one? I think it is, but I think he wants the bottom one because he wants to stop the expansions of Elazer. Because I feel like he feels he can deny these bases very easily, but Elazer's really focused around this sort of area, right? And maybe that's because Clem's trying to expand down here. But if Clem can take this base, he can push down already established bases of Elazer and hit the economy of Elazer harder. And that might be why he wants to go down here, because from up here, now he's got to think about defending here. So Elazer's just like, oh yeah, all these bases, thank you very much. And maybe that's why. That would be my one reasoning as to maybe why Clem was so stubborn about a base. That absolutely is more out of the way, kind of round a corner in a bit of a weird spot compared to this one up at the top. And again, like I say, maybe it's the right decision just to take this one here, and I think it is. But maybe in his mind, he needs this base, then again, hit these bases, because Elazer is out of control in the hatcheries. He's not stopped building hatcheries for the last little while. As we are going to be seeing the extra command center building up here, we do see a few Lings being picked away at. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I kind of get it as well, because if Clem just takes this space, then this, he can just split the map, like, top to bottom. And if he splits the map top to bottom, he's trading well enough to do that. I mean, that's the kind of style Clem's been doing for years as well. Like, that was the sort of style Clem was so good at a year or so ago when he really started to come into the spotlight of the European scene. You know, he played, like, hour-plus-long games against Zergs at DreamHack Austin or WCS Austin and stuff, and delayed the entire bracket. And it's because he would favor just playing the late game. This is like Clem's almost kind of picked up a more aggressive streak in his play, and he's kind of afraid to give it up, especially in this game here. Like, yeah, the creep's crazy and the base count is crazy. But again, what does that matter if you're mining so much more and you can eventually just mine the same amount as your opponent anyways? I mean, maybe it gets a bit too much when Broodlords come into play. Maybe that's what he's worried about. And now that Elazer's had that safety, Broodlords are coming up, 13 of them at once. And I will not say that Clem is ready to deal with Broodlords. Right? He's got Liberators. They're not going to do much. He's got a couple Ghosts. 13 Broodlords, though, is a really serious number. But also, I mean, it's maybe the fact that Clem didn't take this base fast enough because he was fighting over here. If he didn't take this base, took this base right away, he's probably set up with the starport count to realistically get Vikings up to deal with Broods because the game just wasn't as messy. I think this might just end right now for Clem because he is not prepared to fight Broodlords in the slightest. As the tanks and siege to stop friendly firing, Elazer thinks about going in. He will not just yet. He's going. I mean, Clem is bringing the fight to Elazer. Liberator is trying to do some of the splash damage. The tanks will siege up. We'll try and get rid of some of the Banes, making it safe for the bio. Has to unsiege again. The Liberator is pushing through, but there's Queens, there's Corruptors, and the Libs aren't holding out well at all. And the Broodlord count isn't going anywhere as Elazer crashes and burns down this Terran army. And Clem will just type out GG to give Elazer the victory. It's a money difference. It's like a $20 difference.